All right, guys, so today we're going to be talking about how to add an outlet to a circuit. This is the box here we're going to be jumping off of, and we're going to put a new box right here. Now, yes, this isn't finished, so it's a little bit different than a lot of you're going to face, but we are going to talk about how you would do this if it were finished. So let's go ahead and get started, and as we go through this, I'll walk you through some of the other options if this was a finished wall. But for something like this, where we have an unfinished wall, we can just use a new construction box. There's a couple of notches right here for 1/2 inch. If you're going to be 3/4 inch, just pay attention to your little lines here. All right, so from a height standpoint, really my suggestion is just use another box as your template. So this is 11 inches from the plate here, which is what we'll go off of. And again, it'd be 12.5. So like I said, that's at 11 is my height off of my bottom plate here. So I got my 11 marked here. Take the box here. I'm going to line that up with the 11 bottom there, and I'm going to push that all the way back. So now we got that on. Now what we need to do is we need to run our wire from there to here. I've got an easy run from this box to this box. That's not a big deal. If this was a finished wall, there's going to be a few different options here. Now, if you're in a basement, your best option, and if you have access to the ceiling area here, is to run it right down through the top. So you would drill a hole through your top plate here, run it all the way down to your box, and then just run it through the joist here. And then again, drill another hole in your top plate here and run it down again there. That's an easy option. Now that would be one option, say for example, if you're on the 2nd floor and you have access to the attic and you can get in there, or even if you're in a basement and you have access to an open ceiling. That would be another option there. Now let's say for example, I wanted to put an outlet right here. This is the 1st floor, ignore that other outlet. But what I could do is cut a hole here and then run down through the basement. But I have access to my floor, run it there, run it down, over, and up to wherever you want it to go. And that's just another really good option for this situation. Another thing, another guy that a friend of mine does is he cuts out that baseboard, removes the baseboard, cuts the drywall out, and actually drills through each stud and then puts the new outlet over there. The problem with that is you really have to be in the same wall. So if you're going to jump from like this outlet to a different wall, that's not going to work. Now, another thing you're going to notice here is this has got conduit on it. I'm not putting conduit on this, and the reason for that is because I'm going to finish this space. Let's go ahead and get the power shut off, and we'll go ahead and show you how to get this wired up. All right, so let's go ahead and find our breaker here. We'll do the basement bedroom. All right, so now as you can see, we have our power off. So let's go ahead and get this out of here. Okay, once we get that plate off, I'm going to put my tester in here and just make sure there's nothing else in here that might be hot, because like it is possible there's another circuit back in here. Not likely, but it's possible. So I like to do this anyways, just to make sure that my power's off. So the red wire we don't necessarily need. This is probably connected to a 3-way somewhere. This is probably connected to the lights or something, but we don't need this. So I'm not going to worry about that one. Just to make sure, we'll verify it's not hot and we can push it back in the box. I'm going to get it out of the way because we are going to have to knock a hole in the box. Okay, so the other thing we want to do while we got this off is we want to identify the size of the wire we need to use, because we want to use at least a 12 gauge wire at least. So I unfortunately cannot see under there what exactly this is. So knowing that it's a 20 amp circuit, it's got to be at least 12 gauge. So I'm going to use 12-2 and connect this up. So these are nice bits. Now the reason we're going to disconnect this is, now I could run just another hot here from my other connection and another neutral here. The reason I'm not going to do that is, and I'm going to go ahead and go with pigtails, is because that means every time Any outlet, anytime that outlet is used, all that power is run through this outlet. Whereas if I pigtail it, it actually doesn't have to go through this, and there's no chance of this outlet overheating. So pigtailing, I think, is always a better option if you can. So let's go ahead and disconnect this. Let's go ahead and snip these off. And I think it goes without saying here, use the same size pigtails as your wires. So if your wire's 12-2, use 12-2 for the pigtails. And if you can, don't twist. Put it on the right gauge wire. Here you got, so this is 12. Clamp it and then just pull it off. If you twist it, you could end up cutting this copper and it could come loose. So try not to do that. Let's go ahead and connect these up. White to the silver, and of course black to the gold. And the nice part is when you do pigtails, it makes it a little bit easier to get everything connected up. Now unfortunately I'm a couple short on the Wagos. If I had a couple more of these, I'd definitely use them. Or even one more, I'd probably use it, but I don't. Now there's no specific right or wrong one of these to use. You want to use the one that's most convenient for wherever you're running the wire. I'm going to run the wire up and over, so I'm going to use the top one here. So pop this down. So I know this is tough to see, but you can see in there, there's the little metal piece that I notched down. So now I'm just going to take some vice grips or my pliers and pull that off. Now when running cable through a metal box, you need some kind of a cable connector here, whether it's a metal one or a plastic one. In this case, since I don't have access to the inside of the box really that well, a plastic one will work just fine. So we're going to need to use one of these, and I'll show you how to get these in. But this is going to protect your cable from getting cut up on the edges of that punch out that you got back there. So let's get this installed. The other thing I like about this is you can install these after you run the wire. So if the wire's already in there and you want to run this, you can add this later, and I'll show you how to do that as well. But basically it just pulls apart like that. You can slide the wire in. But let's go ahead and get this installed. So basically what you want to do, put this in like that and then just twist it. And it catches on there like that, and it'll still keep twisting, which is fine. And take your wire and push it down. Now this is going to stop it from being able to pull back through. Now we can go ahead and finish running our wire, but we need to cut a hole in our stud here so that we can run this through. Now one thing we want to make sure we remember is that anything within 1.25 inches from the edge here has to have a nail plate. So we want to be 1.25 inches from this, from here, and 1.25 inches from here. So let's go ahead and measure 1.25 inches. That's our 1.25 inches there. And here, we got 1.25 inches there. So we want to drill our hole in between here. So as long as we're in between here, we don't need a nail plate here. Now we can feed our wire through here. You can leave a little extra in here. Just staple it up against the wall if you want. Wire here. And we want at least 6 inches here. So give yourself a little extra. Plenty of room there in that box, which is what's great. Now let's take our 3 black wires here. Again, we're not twisting that. Realistically, we could probably cut this back a little bit, but that's okay. Plenty of room in that box. Now, for three 12 gauge wires, we really want to use one of these big red wire nuts here. down nice and tight. Tighten down any loose terminals. Make sure these are all tight. And then with a metal box like this, I will usually wrap it in electrical tape just so that you don't have any shorts or something. Anything comes in contact with that metal box. You don't want that ground. And put our faceplate back on. Find the screw. And we can just put our faceplate back on. Now we are done with that. We'll go to the other side. If not, take your screwdriver, push it open. Push this down through, and you can leave a little extra. So, all right. So, like I said, I'm going to wrap this, put the drywall on. I'm not going to show you how to put the drywall on, but I'm going to put the drywall on, then I'll come back and wire this up. All right. So we get the wire cut back here. Disregard the drywall. I'll show you how to fix that later. That'll be another video, but let's get this cut. Strip back. And again, we only need 6 inches. So having a little extra doesn't hurt. So we'll cut this back a little bit further. And again, 12. We're not using any kind of pigtail here. So we can go ahead and loop these. Now, basic wiring of an outlet. Silver is going to go with your white. And our ground. Okay. And all 3 together. Push it down into the box. And there you go. Really, that's all there is to it. Now let's go turn our power back on. Now I just have a metal plate, so we're just doing a metal one. And it'll cover up a little bit more. Now let's go turn the power on and see if it works. And we are good. We got power. It's grounded. Everything is wired up correctly. Like I said, I'll do another video on how to fix this. But we should go. That's really all there is to it. Now I have another outlet to the one connected in the back here. All right, guys, as always, thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you on the next one.